So I had a dream last night. Somebody had showed up near our childhood home and was being somewhat antagonistic, and my brother didn't like it, so he killed him. I didn't see the act, but I looked out the window and the man was on the ground with his legs cut off and he was vomiting his guts. And I was trying to talk to my brother, but he told me to go outside and take care of it or something like that. I couldn't quite recall, and it just felt like he was trying to frame me for the deed I had done because somebody threatened him with something. He murdered him and felt like was trying to implicate his brother in this heinous act. So I woke up this morning and I saw this video from Decoy Voice where he shows a couple of articles of allegedly the aftermath of the withdrawal of the Red Army from Ukraine, where there are bound dead civilians, dogs also in cages dead, women and children on the streets dead. I mean, thrown out like the trash, it would seem. Right, could just be one big psyop. Who knows? I don't care. Okay? At this point, I feel like we're just being it's one of those, I guess you could say, demoralizing operations where you're not really supposed to know what's going on and you're supposed to spend all this time researching, trying to find the truth, who's guilty, right? All this other nonsense instead of growing your own food, moving out of the city, becoming politically active, taking bastards that are trying to take your rights away to court. I mean, whatever you think the solution to what's happening in the world today is, um, sitting on your computer and researching endlessly isn't. So I don't really care about the details. I stopped caring about the details because I still think, as I did from the very beginning, that this is brothers killing their brothers in many instances. And think about it, right? Russian, Ukrainian, people are saying Ukraine shouldn't exist because it's really Russia. Other people are saying, Russia came out of the same place that is now Ukraine also, you know what I mean? They have the same origin, right? And depending on your bias, you're going to take one side's story over the other. Ultimately, it would seem that out of Kiev, in and around that area, right, and the steppes, the plains, if you will, of Ukraine, two nations sprouted, right? Um, the Muscovites and the Ukrainians, I guess, or the people that became known as Ukrainians eventually, right? But this is what Cain and Abel, right? And whoever did this there on the ground, right? It was brothers, sisters doing this to each other and looking to probably put the blame on someone else. At least I seem to think so. It's just part of this ongoing psyop, part of this destabilization of the region, right? Keep the hate fomenting, because, well, maybe some of this was done by Russians retreating, and then some of the civilians seeing that weakness in the Russians went after them, right? And then they got killed. Then maybe some of it was, the Russian Nazis or the Ukrainian Nazis going around making a big mess of the place, giving the press lots of horrific scenes to report on, right? Much like what happened in the former Yugoslavia. Just making sure that this hatred between these people persists and the region remains destabilized and full of hate, where there's just a lot of unexplained things going on, and if you don't explain them well enough with good enough proof, that just gives people their minds it gives them the freedom to imagine whatever narrative they want to imagine, right? Whatever preconceived notions, biases, hate they may have in their heart, they'll use that to color these scenes, interpret these scenes, and ultimately perpetuate this fratricide. That's all I gotta say today, man. Well, one last thing. This is why, one of the reasons why war is wrong, right? Starting a war. You're the guilty one. If you started a war, right? Armed conflict, where you attack someone and you start killing people, that is always your fault, okay? Because morality is objective. And if you disagree, then you have no right to complain about anything. Obviously. But we always do. So, yeah, once again, people who have taken a side in this conflict, you got blood on your hands. You're demoralized. Thanks for watching.